all I can hope for you in your journey of discovery, Arielle and Token Gay, is that you discover a moral code and grow the fuck up, because you're in your 30s and this is embarrassing. Well, what's up, rebels? My name is Willie. I am one half of Leo and Willie. We are engaged. We are queer. And today I am here to react to Arielle Scarcella and that one annoying gay guy. I could have done a little bit of a dive to let you know more about this person, but I don't have time for it. So as a summary, he's someone who is 50 Shades of Pick-Me. Those of you who are unfortunate enough to know Arielle Scarcella or to watch her stuff, she is a lesbian YouTuber who started on the left side and then made it her whole brand to talk about how much she hates the left side. A lot of her content is about how queer people have BPD, queer people have autism. And then she finds herself like a token gay or a token trans person to like support her beliefs or whatever. She finds one and then it's like, whoa, if I found one, I can get away with this. Her whole brand is being inflammatory, trying to be as offensive as possible. And today we are going to react to her latest video with that one annoying gay guy. So without further ado, let's get into it. Gay agenda, gay agenda, gay agenda, gay agenda. The title of this video is called Come Play With Our Gay Boys, and it's a complete and utter like direct target towards trans guys. I'm not entirely sure why she felt this was necessary. Like myself, Arielle's not a gay man. She inserted herself into the drama, so I will too.
Right. Transphobic if you don't want to lick their vagina or like stick your penis in their vagina. A hole is not a hole. I'm sorry, it's not. I saw somebody that made a joke on TikTok the other day, and they were like, "What's the difference between gay and queer?" And they were like 50 pounds in a nose ring.
She's got a point.
I mean, I'm a self-aware queen, so I'm gonna let that one go.
So it's Pride Month. There's a shit ton of nonsense going on. Not so much the LGBT community. I mean, a little bit, like 5%. But like 95% of it is the queer community. I have Clarkson here. He's a gay man. You probably know him from TikTok. You are starting your own. You just started.
Oh no, he's starting his own YouTube. Great. There is another person within the community whose whole, and I imagine whose sole purpose will be to make trans people feel bad about being trans and being inflammatory for the sake of views. Great. Another one. Another one.
I just started. The lesbians warned gay men about 6-7 years ago that the homophobia was rampant in the queer activist community. Now they're coming for the gays.
We were just a little too focused on having sex with each other, I think.
Is my least favorite person on TikTok.
Partner and I are in the process of trying to find another person to play with us in the bedroom.
Just the fact that they said play with us. Would a gay man ever say that?
No. Actually, maybe a creepy old one.
A creepy old man. Oh yeah, that's true.
They're like, when I come over and play, I'm like, play what? Like badminton?
So, firstly, they are literally on TikTok. Sorry, what do you expect them to say? Like, literally, what do you expect them to say without getting banned? Like, would a gay man ever say that? Nah. By the way, look at my baby. Do you remember that person who was like, what happened to your cats? I don't know. They're there. What do you mean, would a gay man ever say that? Like, this is literally her token gay that she's brought on to speak for the entirety of the gay community. I know loads of gay guys just the same way as you do, Arielle, and I'm sure some of them have used the term come play. Also, I don't know if this is like not an American thing, but play parties? Play parties are a thing, so the idea of someone come to play with someone is a very valid terminology to use if you're not trying to get your video taken off of a public platform. Like, come on, girl. Let's not reach that deep. The stretching you must have done for that reach.
For context, this person identifies, I believe, as a trans, non-binary person. Their partner's a trans man. Their partner does pass as a man, like looks like a man. Gay men would probably find him attractive and then, you know, might want to date him until they find out he has a vagina.
A gay guy would probably fall for them until they realize they had a vagina. Firstly, loads of gay guys and cis gay guys are in relationships with trans gay men. It's not an impossible thing. And secondly, nobody's forcing that to happen. You do realize that like, you're saying that in a way of like, oh, you could have got a guy, but then he realized you have a vagina. Like, what are you doing? Stop trying to make people feel bad about being who they are. Like, I just don't like the way she picks on people who, you know, in some cases, their biggest insecurities are their genitalia that they can't change, especially if they don't feel like their body aligns with who they are inside. So to pick on that and just to push it further, it just shows your type of character. You do understand that you can make content that's witty, you can make content that's funny without hurting people. Like, that is possible. You are allowed to do that, Arielle. I feel like her sole purpose is just to hurt people. And I feel like hurt people hurt people. So let's talk about it, boo. Why are you so sad? There is a rumor. Let me spill the tea. So someone that she dated, they then broke up and that person went on to discover their identity as a trans man. And ever since then, Arielle Scarcella's been coming for the trans people. Just say they broke your heart. Move on, sis. It's okay. I know he broke your heart, but move on, boo-boo. It's okay, Arielle, darling. You're a survivor. You're not gonna give up.
This person obviously, in my opinion, does not pass. Has not had any surgery, still walks around with their boobs hanging out, and goes on Grindr with their partner looking for gay men to have sex with.
Because of the DS dynamic that the two of us have, he is doing the bulk of the screening, the coffee meetups, and having all of those initial conversations. The cis men he's talked to have been completely unable to communicate wants, needs, boundaries, desires. One guy told my partner that he was interested in fun, and when asked to elaborate on what fun meant, fun. And when my partner was like, cool, well, if you can't tell me what you want, we're not going to do it because I don't want to accidentally assault you. The person was like, oh, you require way too much talking to do this.
Right there is the difference between men and women. 17 conversations before we even meet up. Gay men are like, are we down or not?
She's just referred to this trans person as a woman because she just said that's the difference between man and woman. But this person's not transphobic, right? You ask her and she'll be like, I'm not transphobic. But you're telling me that's not transphobic? In terms of women and men and women and men and this is what men do and this is what women do, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, what are you actually talking about? Every individual is going to be in every individual. I personally, before I got fiancéed and married off, I was in them streets. I can't even lie. Like, I was known as a player, and so I am a woman. And I don't understand what you're talking about. Like, am I a man now? And there are loads of men who prefer to get to know someone before they have that happen. And you're saying that's the difference between men and women. But your whole argument right now, and something that you've been going on forever about, is how, these trans men are coming to take these gay men and they're being homophobic and they're trying to force them to sleep with them in their vaginas. But this person is opening up and saying, hey, I need to communicate with you because I don't want to accidentally assault you and I want to make sure you feel safe to engage with my body. And apparently that's also an issue. So how does a trans person in this situation win? A trans person just shouldn't date a gay guy, even though there are gay guys who also want to date trans gay guys. Like, just because you don't want to and your token gay guy who's literally just here to push his own channel doesn't want to, it doesn't mean there are other people in this world who don't want to do that. Sometimes I wonder if Arielle Scarcella can make content if it's not inflammatory. I love a cheeky tea, you know me, fill my cup up and all that, as well as all of that stuff. Me and Leo, we aim to be funny, we aim to be engaging, we aim to do essay videos, we tend to talk about things that are really important. With Arielle Scarcella, it feels like her one-track brand is trying to annoy people as much as possible because it gets monetization, it gets the views, and she gets paid off people commenting and engaging. And honestly, like myself, making videos like this, that's just the reality of the situation, right? And that's fine if that's her brand. I mean, it's not fine, but that's clearly fine for her. But you've got to ask yourself, if you are really that witty, interesting, smart, charismatic, would you need to always have to make this content to be interesting? It feels like you went from doing this content as a one-off to this is just your brand now, because you have no idea how to engage with people and how to be interesting if you aren't shitting on a community. Come on, girl. I want to tell you I understand, but I've never been a basic bitch, so I really couldn't, but go off, sis.
Well, that's what Grindr is. It's a pump and dump.
Literally.
So if you're mad that a guy is being a guy, women.
It's almost like these people don't really know what it's like to be a man.
And I'm sure they don't have genital preferences, so women then.
Yeah, because they'd be called transphobic. If
right. Yeah. So why are you going after men? Because this is how men act.
I'm sure they don't have genital preferences, so just fuck women then. I don't have genital preferences. I'll sleep with whoever the fuck I want to sleep with. What the hell are you talking about? Oh, this one gay guy, he's so annoying. He has such a punchable face.
The cis men also tend to have few to no questions about what we're looking for, about what we want, anything. They're just sort of like, cool, I'm down, I'm in, where do I meet? This is obviously a red flag for us and a hard no. Meanwhile, my partner met a trans person for coffee today to talk about the potential of all of us playing. And this person showed up with a spreadsheet of their desires, boundaries, and Aftercare protocol.
Aftercare protocol?
Like, are you gonna call them to make sure they got home okay?
This is a lot.
I
I can't keep
Okay, for me personally, a spreadsheet's a bit wild. I think if someone showed up with a spreadsheet, I'd be like, hey, that's a bit much for me too. But even though it's too much for me, I don't think I need to make fun of someone who it's not too much for, you know? That's their thing. Cool, it's too much for me. I can communicate that and I can walk off and life will be life, yeah? I don't necessarily... Also, the person that they've picked to respond to or react to, sorry, in this case, they've chosen someone who obviously, let's be real, has gone to two different extremes. You know, this isn't working, so here's another person with a spreadsheet. I don't necessarily align with this person. I don't necessarily agree with how, you know, detailed that has to be. But things like aftercare protocol and just making sure someone's okay and feeling all right, like, that's fine. If that's what someone wants to do, that's what someone wants to do. Not everybody's into that. Some people literally just want to lash and dash, and that's fine if that's what they want to do. But someone else not wanting to do that and wanting to check in, like, I don't see how that makes someone a bad person. Like, you're never going to be a bad person for wanting to do more to make someone feel supported or feel comfortable. That's never going to be a bad thing. It can be too much, and you might have to tell someone to, like, rein it down a bit. Like, it's all right, it's just a little bang. But it's not a horrible thing that this needs to be all of this. Like, this guy's like, an aftercare protocol? Like, okay, I'm sorry if you just lay down, get filled up and someone leaves. Like, that's not everyone else's story, bruh.
If I was into vagina, I would date women. I didn't, like, that's the thing. You know what I mean? Like, if I could fuck a vagina, I would not be gay.
So this is a Grindr DM that one of my followers sent to me.
Send dick pic. I'm a trans guy, so it'd be a vagina, if that's okay. You can't pound my hole with a vagina. Respect them for saying it, but I guess they kind of had to, because they can't just send a picture of, like, a fake dick or anything.
Also, it's not consensual. He asked for one thing and you're sending another. That's not consensual.
Also, you can see this person's a bottom. So, like, what is your whole purpose on here? What, are you gonna wear a dildo? Like, you're messaging bottoms on Grindr?
Hold up. So, what is the actual issue with this exchange? I don't get what the exchange is. Are they basically saying that trans guys should categorically not be on Grindr, even though they are gay? Like, is that what the purpose of this conversation is? I'm just struggling, because this exchange, hey, send dick pic, I'm a trans guy, so it'd be a vagina if that's okay. Sorry, but you can't play my whole vagina. Like, that's it. They've made it clear what they have. The other person said, nah. Like, I don't necessarily think either of them are wrong in this situation. They've had communication. Why did it have to lead to this? The fact that this person then went ahead to send it to Arielle Scarcella, that's where you see the intent has changed, right? Because this person has had this engagement, felt a particular type of way, and then sent it to someone to put on blast. Whereas the other person's just like, I'm here just to find a guy. And if they like me, they like me. If they don't, they don't. This is what I'm working with. If you can't, you know, if it doesn't work out, fine. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be such a big deal. Like, why are they... The person literally has done nothing wrong as well. Like, we're literally using an example of someone who's followed every correct protocol in, like you said, having consensual sex. So what's the issue? Also, trans guys can definitely be tops. When you're talking about, like, fake penis, you mean, like, straps and stuff like that. That is a way that people can top. If you're not into it, that's fine. You're not into it, but some people might be. So yeah, trans guys can top. Please do not just assume that trans guys are going to bottom because they have certain hardware. Also, don't assume they're hardware. Not everybody has the same hardware. Just to be very, very clear, some people might be pre-op, some people might be post-op, and regardless of what you think of any of their stuff going on down there, that's their body, and you don't need to disrespect it so much just to make this ridiculous video that's literally just used to be inflammatory, make trans people feel shite about themselves, and get this token gay guy some, like, recognition before he pushes over to YouTube. Like, let's be real. Like, it's just so silly and stupid. Both of you should be, like, actually ashamed of yourself. You're both pathetic. You're actually so pathetic. Also, my room is bare. I'm moving out. So if you're like, where the hell's your bedsheet, sis? I'm out. I'm leaving soon. So just thought I'd do one more cheeky one in here.
Today I would like to talk about expansive masculinity and how I feel like my manhood is a non-binary manhood.
Are they more non-binary or more trans the bigger their nose ring gets? Because this one's massive.
Person is trans bull, not trans man.
Trans bull.
I've got one too. I don't know. I guess I'm going to be the next cis bull. Like, ha ha ha!
For years, I believed that I could never be a real man.
No, I have to stop it. I'm sorry. The voice is so unnatural. Like, I have to talk like that if I want to sound like a man.
That's just mean. I think it's mean. People who are on HRT and going through vocal transitions, their voices are just their voices. It'll go up and down as time goes on and they're on HRT more. It will gradually get deeper. There are trans guys with deep voices. As much as I dislike this person, and you can go find an old video to see why, Sam Collins has a deep voice. Trans guys do have deep voices. What do you mean, oh, this person's trying to force it? The idea of you two sitting here just laughing at a human being this way, like, I don't know, you're just not that young anymore. You know, you're not that young anymore. Like, I'm not saying it would be okay if you were young, but then we could give you the grace of, they're going through something and maybe they'll grow out of it. But you're this age, this is who you are. Your full frontal lobe has already grown. You're past 25, the both of you, clearly. And I do not understand how the both of you as adults, are sitting here, normally going for people who are a lot younger, just giggling like their voice. Are you not embarrassed? Do, like, your friends who message you and say we're cool, do they really think that, or are they embarrassed by it? I'd be embarrassed to be associated with such online bullies. Like, you're such bullies. And the reality of the situation is, yes, you've got this clout and you've got so many people who support you, fine. But I truly believe that eventually people are going to get tired of this bullshit. And I'm glad that people are continuing to call it out. Keep calling it out. If you're a YouTuber and you're a queer YouTuber and you're seeing shit like this, keep calling it out. It's not okay. Stand up. I'm standing up for all my trans brothers. I'm standing up for my trans mass people. I'm standing up for trans people. I'm standing up for anyone in the community who continues to be bullied by this. I'm standing up for anyone who continues to be bullied by this literal witch and this one token twink. I don't even know if is he considered a twink? I don't know. He's pretty. I'm not going to sit here and deny that this guy's not pretty. But he's so annoying. You know what I mean? He's just so annoying. Have you seen him on Jubilee? Oh, how the eyes roll. Anyways.
We can redefine and recreate and expand upon masculinity to make it something beautiful.
Almost like masculinity isn't toxic if it's not toxic.
Oh, but if you said that, you'd be canceled.
You're not redefining masculinity.
No.
It's just masculinity without toxicity.
That's literally it.
For me, personally, my manhood, I consider myself, my gender, at its base, man.
False. At its base is a woman.
Yes.
Let's be honest. And then you transition. But at your base, it's not a man.
I expand upon that. I'm a non-binary man. I'm a trans man.
Does that make sense to you?
No.
It doesn't make sense to me.
No, but if it makes sense to them, It makes sense to everyone.
Right. Because it's not self-ID. It's societally.
No, if it makes sense to... You're okay, baby. If it makes sense to them, then it makes sense to them. If it doesn't make sense to you, it's okay. It's okay to say that something is above your mental pay grade. Do you know what I mean? It's okay to say, you know what? I don't understand this. I just don't have the skill for it. I'm just not that educated. It's okay to admit those things. Go on, say it with me. I'm just not that educated. Once you say it out loud, it will feel good.
I don't think logic is applying to any of this post.
I'm a man who experiences gender in a different way from cis men, but I'm still equally a man.
Hold on. You're non-binary, but you're still equally a man.
See, that doesn't make sense. Like, these people will make it more and more difficult for themselves and simultaneously make it more difficult for society to understand them and then continue.
I could be wrong because I don't fully understand what this person is saying either, and I'm just being honest. But I think that what they're trying to say is that they're non-binary masculining, so they identify more with being a man, but they also have that fluidity to their gender. I think that's what they're saying. And if it's not what they're saying and I just don't get it, go off. I'm never going to meet this person in real life. We don't engage, so I don't need to also know that information. They're trying to describe how they feel. And obviously there's a community of people who accept that, including me. Whatever they tell me, they're a stranger. And if they tell me this is who they are, if I don't understand it, I will ask them. I can clarify if I wanted to be in their life. I won't just go make a video and talk about how confusing they are and how these people just make stuff up. Like, no one's making stuff up. No one's making who they are up. People are still discovering who they are. Like, yeah, look, for example, right, you're in your 30s, mid, surely. When you were younger, you were left, and now you are actively not, right? So you see how you grew up and you personally discovered for yourself that you didn't align with something anymore. Everybody else is allowed to go through their own personal transition with their own personal alignments of who they are. All I can hope for you in your journey of discovery, Arielle and Token Gay, is that you discover a moral code and grow the fuck up, because you're in your 30s and this is embarrassing.
and continuously claim more oppression and more victim points because they're less and less understood.
That is such a good point.
It is a perpetual circle, and they feed off of their own energy, off their own negativity.
They're deliberately confusing people and then complaining about
100%.
people confusing them.
And my version of masculinity is, you know, the positive parts, right? Men can be caring, and men can be protective, and men can provide, and men can do a lot of things that aren't being toxic.
Okay, but here's the thing, so can women. Like, there's this whole idea, they reinforce such rigid gender norms where it's like, women are also caring and protective over their kids. It's just nurturing, right? It's all the same.
So hold on. So firstly, their gender was so confusing that you couldn't place it, and now such rigid gender norms. Like, what are you talking about? Pick a struggle, bitch.
So it's like, why don't you just be a good human without having to like rigidly force yourself into these labels for validation?
What do you mean, why don't you just be a good human? Why don't you just be a good human? Like, you are literally in this, what is it, a 10-minute 50 video, just making people feel bad about themselves, just creating more and more division within our freaking community. And then you have the absolute cheek to tell someone else, why don't you just try being a good human being? You first, sir. You first.
Part of my masculinity and what affirms my gender as a man is what I can do for women. And protecting women feels super gender affirming for me. I love standing up for my trans women friends and checking in on them at the bar. That feels good. I think cis men have a lot to learn from trans men and the way we redefine and recreate masculinity into something better.
So this reminds me of when, like, there's a few videos of trans women going around of them saying that they're better women than women. Like, how dare you?
Sexist.
It's extremely sexist. It's saying, like, just because, like, a lot of them will say, I'm a better woman because I chose to be a woman.
Right.
Like, because I chose to transition. So
because I chose to fit these stereotypes that women have been fighting against for years.
So with this one, I can understand why this would trigger a cis person in saying, look, cis people can learn a lot from us. I can understand what that would trigger someone, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend otherwise. I think the wording was terrible and a little bit inflammatory. I think what this person is trying to say, that trans guys, obviously having experienced life a specific type of way, means that they can empathize with women a little bit more. They do know that experience, and therefore they can be a little bit more empathetic, caring, and understanding of a female's experience, right? I think that's what they're trying to say. I don't know what they mean about they can teach cis men how to be better men. I think that's a bit wild. I don't know about that one. I can't back you on that one, bro. Sorry.
I describe my gender as handsome girl, pretty boy. Now, if you were to spell it like this, it is girl. It's not girl, it's girl.
So basically, she's already taking away. She's a culturally appropriating gay language, gay man language. Girl.
Like,
I know you lying. Appropriating gay language? I'm not. Okay, Arielle Scarcella, I know you did not just say that girl and all of this stuff comes from gay language. Talk about where your bestie, that token gay over there, ask him where that language comes from, because I think you'd find it's from my people, black women. A lot of gay men appropriated language from black women, okay? Let's get that straight. Sis really said gay language. She really said girl and all this stuff come from gay white men. I know you lying. I know you lying. I need to educate these people. This is what I mean. Like, I did a video before about white privilege. These people are nuts. White gay men have appropriated language from black African American culture and African culture just in general. And it's become incredibly popular, but all of it comes from black people, ballroom culture, African American culture. Don't you dare insult my entire freaking culture and say that they're appropriating gay language. I wish you would. And as someone who's actually from the community of which that language derives from, you have my permission, handsome girl, pretty boy.
It's girl.
That's a gay man. That's a gay man thing. Yeah.
It's not boy, it's boy. Not boy, boy.
That's a lesbian thing.
Is it?
Yes, boy, B-O-I is a lesbian thing. So she's already appropriate.
And now BOI belongs to the lesbians? This is embarrassing. This is wild. Okay, look. I don't care if you're an Arielle Scarcella fan or not, right? This lady is on the internet, right? She's like here talking about issues that involve our community, and she doesn't actually know a lot of the history or where language, the linguistics of where language comes from. The idea of her saying that girl belongs to gay men and boy belongs to lesbians is embarrassing. People will watch this and actually believe that. That is categorically not true. What are you talking about, lady? You know, one thing about Arielle, and I've said this in previous videos, is that as much as I dislike her, she's always, at least, I felt, tried to be educated on the subjects that she speaks on. Whether I agree with her or not is different, but I feel like she tries to do the work. But recently, I've noticed how sloppy her work is. She'll put in some random clips and then not really, like, talk about the clips. They all get put in random different contexts, and her work is getting lazy. And the reason why it's getting lazy is because she no longer even cares about these things. She's just trying to make as many videos as possible, burn them out, burn them out, burn them out, so she can get as much money as possible, even if the information she's putting out makes absolutely no sense. This makes no sense. What are you talking about? Also, love handsome girl, love pretty boy, love that. I love being called handsome. I think it's, hits differently, hits differently.
What that girl's profession is. If you guessed teacher, you would be correct.
They're always teachers.
Why do you think that is? I have a theory. Why do you think
I
that
think
is?
that if you are a person who requires validation from so many people, especially validating nonsense, you're going to want to surround yourself with malleable brains that can believe that nonsense.
And be in a position of power that it's easy to manipulate somebody like that.
Oh my god. Now, the gay agenda, the queer agenda, sorry, according to them, is people go into the teaching profession. By the way, a profession that pays hardly anything, trust me, I've done it, that pay hardly anything to make the kids trans? Like, what? You know how offensive this is, just to the teaching profession in general? Like, it doesn't matter whether you're conservative, you're far right, you're centre, it doesn't matter where you land on this. Teachers are literally the ones who spend most times with your kids. Do you understand how hard it is to teach? You hardly get paid for the work you do. You do overtime constantly because you're consistently making up lesson plans. You're there. Kids often, I've been in lessons where kids have opened up about things that I wasn't meant to be prepared for. Sometimes you have to play parent, therapist. Sometimes you're a quick nurse. Like, the amount that teachers do, the fact that you would minimize that into people are teachers just to change malleable brains is ridiculous. Yes, a lot of people are teachers because they want to do good and they want to make the world a better place, and it starts with the young because we're going to die out, right? And they're the next generation. Nobody's going into schools to trans kids. Go ask parents, and this is conservative ones too, right? Go ask the parents how hard lockdown was when kids actually couldn't be in school. How difficult was that? And parents suddenly realize just how much the school system is helping them out. So don't sit here and just trash on the school system as a really quick throw it point, because I'm going to dissect that and I'm going to call you out. You disgusting human being. Why are you so comfortable being this horrible on the internet? What are you saying behind closed doors? Like, these people are not nice people. You can think she's a great YouTuber, that's fine. But don't sit here and convince yourself that these two people are kind, nice people. Because kind, nice people do not act like this. This is too far. Right, I'm going to end it here, actually, because I think I've given them enough watch hours. These, like, huge platformed content creators just using their time to just make people feel bad, it's sad. I think at this point someone needs to do a deep dive into Arielle Scarcella. If this video gets 100 likes, we're a small channel, so 100 is like a big deal, right? So if this video gets 100 likes, I will do a deep dive on Arielle Scarcella and I will make it good. I will show you just how messed up this girl is. If after the deep dive you can still tell me that you support this person, then that's you. Look inwards, yeah? All right, I'm gonna say goodbye. I love you, drink water, eat carrots. Bye.